Hello there again, everybody. This is going to be John League number 57, doing the exact same list as I did in 56. And the experiment here is Valki, God of Lies. The idea is we want to have it be a fine 2-mana play or be able to subvert the 2-mana side by cascading into it with Bloodbraid, because Bloodbraid only cares about the cost of the front side, and then as soon as you can cast that card for free, you can choose which side of the card you want to cast. So hopefully I'm gonna pull off that combo at least once this league, but haven't done it in the one league I did it so far. My initial idea was that Valky was not going to be that great because the front side really isn't that good, and being able to cascade into it or even cast it is going to be a corner case scenario, or even when you do it, it's a lot of the time isn't going to be good. Like if you play against some kind of combo deck, for example, or if you're against like some kind of aggro deck where they'll usually just kill you anyway, despite being able to cast Tibalt on turn 4. But I'm willing to be proven wrong. But the first league that I did with this kind of made me feel more comfortable in my assumption that it wasn't going to be good. We saw Valky, I think 4 out of our 5, if not all of our matches last league, and in every single spot it was at best medium or below average. So it wasn't super exciting, but I'm going to give it another try or two to really kind of get a better feel for it. I don't know that 5 matches is enough to really judge it. So let's just try it again and maybe once more, and then just see if I can get a better feel for it. So this is what the current metagame looks like. We've got Uro still at first with Omnath, and we've got more Uro at 5th and more Uro at 9th. And then we've got, obviously, Hammer Time has been a pretty big player. It's been stuck around the 2nd or 3rd spot for a while now. Burn has been seeing a reprisal, another hyper aggro deck. And speaking of hyper aggro, we've got the Blue-Red Blitz deck making a comeback with a Storming Entity. And we've got some mid-rangey combo-y stuff towards the bottom, like Spirits Company, D&T, Ad Naz. Then some other Shadow decks and Primeval Titan decks. So let's not talk too much. Let's just jump into this league. Yeah, and it seems you guys wanna see these new cards being tested. My previous video has been out for I think 2.5 days now, and it's got almost double my average by now in views. So if you guys want to see spicy stuff like this, let me know. I'll try to mix it in with some of the more serious stuff. Yeah, we've got a keeper. The opponent has revealed Luris. So this is probably going to be a pretty fine hand versus anything Luris might be doing. And then we do play 2 Blood Crypts in this deck. So I can fetch for a duel to Lightning Bolt here on turn 1. Had I been playing double Overgrown Tomb, this would have been awkward given both red shocks are in the hand. But luckily we're playing 2 Blood Crypts. So I can go Mire on 1 pretty safely to bolt the first thing. If they play like a Bomat Courier, I probably just won't bolt it, because I can just untap and then use a run and 6 on it. Save the bolt for a later threat. I'm assuming it's like Black-Red Shadow. It could also be the Hammer deck, though. Indeed. Alright, so now that I don't have to fetch shock, I'll get Overgrown Tomb. And I really don't expect a Valky to live for very long. If they take the run in 6, I am going to play the Valky, at least so I have some information moving forward. If I had Inquisition or Thoughtseize, maybe I cast that first to clear the way for Valki potentially being good. But that's not the case, so I'm just going to jam the first one, I think. Alright, I'll get double black in, I guess. I guess we have Nurturing Peatland now, so that makes me want to get Stomping Ground in more. Because if I draw like a Liliana or something, I'll have double black, paying only 1 life, and this can come in tapped on the following turn. So yeah, I'll shock this. Alright, so we get to take the thing. And so obviously this gets pushed or Kolaghan's commanded pretty easily. Another Ren and 6, not bad. Alright, so I'll just go ahead and go to combat here. Now that the opponent knows something's up. I could pay 2 to have this hitting for 3. I can even bolt myself to have it going for more, but generally I don't think I want to be bolting myself. I'm just going to let this thing hit. And then I'll play the Ren and 6. Buy back a Mire and play a Mire. So this Scourge is the one under the Valki. Yeah, and if they play Scourge here, I don't think I'm gonna be fetching because I want this bolt to be able to kill it. I could fetch, but then I'll have to minus and kill to help kill it. Alright, they played both of these Mires. There's the Scourge, yep. Alright, so not gonna fetch because I want this bolt to be able to kill it. They could have like Street Wraith or something. Actually, they can't, right? Because Luris is existing right now. Alright, I could get, like, I guess I could even Inquisition first to kind of clear the way. They used this push, didn't they? Yeah, I guess leading on Inquisition is probably where I want to be, and I'll leave up the bolt to respond to anything. Alright, and I think, despite Knight's Whisper being a 2-for-1, I think Kolaghan's command is ultimately going to be more powerful. They're both 2-for-1s, but Knight's Whisper is going to be definitively better, I think. So right, then we can kill the Scourge. And then if I want to, I could sacrifice this Peatland and then return it immediately. I mean, if we get to 7 mana, we could just cast back half of Valki. But I think it's more likely that I'm going to want this card. So I'm going to sacrifice the Peatland and then just immediately buy it back, I think. And I'll get Basic Mountain, conserve some life. I want double red, I think, before I want double black. Liliana would be the one reason for double black. So here's a Liliana. No, okay. Alright, get back this Peatlands. Alright, and this is going alright. They've obviously got a draw too. They've got access to Luris as a companion. Things to watch out for. Alright, there goes Luris. Alright, we've got this Valki in hand, so we may actually be able to just snipe it, assuming they can't kill it immediately. And Kroxa is interesting. I may want to play that first so they discard a card without the info that I'm going to be Valkying. I guess the reason I probably want to Valki first, just because if they got like Kroxa or a Kroxa of their own, then maybe I can steal it and attack with the next turn. That's pretty unlikely. I think I'm probably better off just playing this Kroxa first, so they discard without the information. They do know I have the Valki already, but I think this is fine. Move this away from my head. There we go. Alright, and that was a card we did not know about. Alright, and then I'm going to Valki here. And if they don't have like a bolt or a push, they're not going to be able to use this Luris for a second. Alright, they don't. Cool. And Luris Ultimate, sorry, Renin 6 Ultimate may be a factor at some point. Kind of funny that I can transform my Valki into a Luris, then recast Croxa that way if I want. But it might just be stronger to get Croaks out of the yard the usual way. They drew a Bolt, bummer. Alright, well, we still have access to this Croxa, so we're not on nothing, but the opponent is going to get to bobble it up here. Pretty unfortunate. Ooh, Liliana is great. I think I'm just going to do that. We're going to have access to Croxa next turn. I would really like to stop this Luris from being ridiculous. So I think what I'm going to do here, I just got to determine like how I want to sequence my lands. I'm definitely going to be minusing here, so I guess the order doesn't necessarily matter a whole lot. I guess I can just like pay the life, get the Blood Crypt and tapped, and like these lands are likely to be discarded anyway. Granted, I can get them back, but the ultimate is gonna be happening pretty soon. I think I'm okay just paying a life to get the Liliana in. Croxa here is probably fine as well, but there's not really a guarantee I can kill this Luris when there's more creatures in play. All right, so I can then play a land, sacrifice it. Just gonna do this now, so I have something to buy back with the Renin 6. Say no. All right, yeah, this is going pretty well. Finally cashing that in. Took a while. Sweet. Yeah, they determined they can't beat the emblem, especially with the Bolt in our yard. Alright, so Rakdos Shadow. All in all, should be a fine matchup. Let's bring in the Spell Bombs for the Luris plan. Triumph is something that is usually for the that new Cascade combo to get Emrakul on turn 3, but it might have some use here killing single creatures. I definitely want this extra Fatal Push. I really don't think Valki is going to be strong here. But I mean, we're here to try it, right? I think I'm going to take out a good number of these Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes, maybe just all of them. Don't think I want Brutality. It doesn't kill a whole lot. It can kill Luris though, and it can kill, I guess, like Bomat and stuff. Sometimes the prowess creatures. It doesn't seem insane. It's probably better than Triumph just because Brutality can kill Luris, whereas Triumph probably can't. So let's try those. I think we need one more now. Shock seems slow. We could try like the one copy of Triumph. It's our worst removal spell by a lot, but I still think it's probably better than an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize. Let's give that a go. Are there any other like glaring cards, like glaring mistakes here? I don't think that there are. The rest of this seems pretty reasonable. Yeah, this is reasonable. It's a little on the slow side, but I think it'll do well. We can kill the first thing pretty easily. We've got a catch-all. Liliana's probably one of our better cards to have. And obviously a Blood Braid at the top is great. The sand would love a Renin 6 because we would love to be able to guarantee future land drops. Turn 0 kill. Nice. Termagurf. Nice. I think I played this person before. I think I gotta ship this. This is pretty slow. If one of these lands was a spell, I'd be more inclined to keep, but this is gonna be bad versus a lot of opponents. Alright, this is gonna be bad versus all of our opponents, given no lands. Well, I guess I'm keeping. This costs a lot of mana. Can't cast this. I think I'm just gonna keep the lands and the things I can cast with them. Maybe we can get there with a Valki taking something sweet. Who knows? Oh wow. We might actually be able to attack with an Uro on turn 3. That would be sweet. I'm gonna go for that line, and then take the look to take the Uro with Valki on turn 2, and then if we draw a third land, we're gonna be able to attack with it. That would be a way to climb back, huh? They've drawn Shark Typhoon. Oh, it's a look. It's not a reveal. All right, so they've got Forest, they've got Shark Typhoon, and they've got 2 lands. So yeah, untapped land would be really sweet here, because then we'll get to attack with an Uro. Land. Damn it. Yeah, you gotta pay 3, right? All right, I guess I'm Inquisitioning. Still no answer to it. Not going to attack into a Shark Typhoon. And this cryptic command could mess up the plan if we wait much longer. Come on, land. Nice. Who's got the Uro now? Pretty funny stuff. Unfortunately, this cryptic command might ruin the fun. That works too. They've got Uro again. I mean, I'm probably just gonna do it again. I guess I could Kroxa first, so they're discarding without the information. I think I like that. And this Kroxa is pretty close to coming back as well. Alright, obviously gonna get a green source here. We've got lots of red. I'll get Overgrown Tomb. Alright, so now it revealed it. Alright, so they don't have this. The Uro's here. I'll leave it under there. They don't have 2 sharks and they don't have 2 cryptics. And this Field of Ruin doesn't cast their Uro. So if they don't draw a blue source here, we might be able to continue doing some shenanigans. Alright, well, we're going to continue doing some shenanigans. Alright, there's the blue. So their hand is cryptic and a thing. Kroxa, interesting. Alright, well, I have to do this first to get the trigger. Not sure what I want to do here. We know their hand is cryptic and something. So I think I want to cast this Kroxa here, just to make sure they're discarding something good. I don't really need a lot of green for any reason, right? Can't get forest. Yeah, let's just get a swamp, I think. Takes an Archmage's Charm. All right, so their hand is cryptic. But we know they can disrupt our little fun here. But, like, we're going to get another trigger unless they want to prevent the trigger. In which case, if they prevent the trigger before we attack, we can always replay the Valki to retake the Uro. So if they want to end step it, they have to let us attack again. Which is kind of funny. Oh, that works too. That can unsummon our Valki. But then we just get to do it again. I guess leaving us back in case we draw a Blood Braid. So this is their hand still. I think what I want to do here is I want to escape Kroxa and play Valki. So let's cast Valki. We'll take the Uro, leaving them with just Cryptic. And then I can play this Kroxa in order to have the opponent discard the Cryptic. Alright, and we'll leave other Kroxa in case this one gets exiled somehow. I guess I'll leave other Valki. Say done. Alright, this is going well. I mean, they've got Jace. They can only unsummon one of these things. They also, like, have access to Uro if they can find an untapped source of mana that isn't a Field of Ruin. That'll do it. But, I mean, they've brainstormed here. So we're going to get to attack with 2 Titans. That seems pretty fun. Ooh, that was a good draw. So if I'm copying this, I can't necessarily do everything. So I think I want to be Inquisitioning here, which means I'm not Pyromancering. So maybe I should just be Pyromancering. Because, like, if I find a removal spell here, my attack becomes outrageously good. Maybe I just shouldn't be Inquisitioning. I think I want to guarantee an attack. Thing is, like, if I do this and I find a removal, I can't even attack with the Uro anyway. And, like, they're discarding their card to the attack, so I guess this doesn't even matter. So, yeah, let's do this. Because, like, if I find, like push plus fetch land, then the attack just becomes outrageously good. A bolt. Not quite. I do think I want to just make this an Uro and attack. And then the question is, where do I attack? Do I attack face or do I attack the Jace? If I attack the Jace, the opponent is forced to trade off everything or lose the Jace, and I get to have a Titan stay around. If this were untapped, I could bolt the Shark and then do it all. But I think what I want to do is just make this an Uro. And then go to attack. I think I'm attacking the Jace here. I can't kill them here, and I want to make sure their Jace doesn't get to live along forever. So I think I'm just going to go at them here. I've never had both of the Titans trigger at the same time. We do a run in 6. Run in 6 can take care of the Shark if they don't block for some reason. Alright, so they're letting us keep the Uro. And I guess that's all I got. I can bolt the Jace here, which is a way to get rid of it, but they're probably going to be minusing the Jace anyway. Oh, no. Okay. I guess the logic here is they just have another Uro to escape anyway. This is quite a Titan battle, though. Maybe Mystic Sanctuary for a Cryptic. They've already brainstormed, though. So this is going to be reserved to the top of their library for a turn. Okay, they're not doing that. Interesting. They might just have might have just drawn a Cryptic. All right, and their Field of Ruin is going to combat my Raging Ravine. Big draw step. Wow, that's a fatal push. Unfortunately, we don't have a way to enable the Revolt. I could lightning bolt my own elemental, or I guess I could Ren and 6 my own elemental. That actually seems like not a bad play, because then I can fatal push with revolt. They could counter it, but I guess the only things that counter it are force of negation. And we've taken 2 of those already. Let's see if we can get that to work. Yeah, I would love to buy back a fetch here, but there just isn't one. This is a pretty funky play. I wonder, they've got to be wondering what I'm doing here, but I mean, this seems like the best play, assuming it works. Like, they can't Archmage's Charm, they can't Cryptic yet. The only thing they could have is Force of Negation, and again, we used 2. Excellent. Alright, I think I'm going to send Uro at them and the Seasoned Pyromancer at the Jace so I can keep the Lightning Bolt. Alright, and then I think I'm sacrificing this now. Maybe I find something good. That's something good. Alright, we're ahead. Remand, sure. Yeah, or Uro seems pretty good in Jund. I'd be inclined to agree. I mean, I gave Valki a lot of hate, but I mean, if you're going to take an Uro and attack with it 5 times, I guess it's something good. That is good. Boo. Alright. I mean, we've got a bolt, so they are just dead to an attack, and now they're just dead to a bolt and a Ren and 6 activation, so they've got a lot to fight against. Okay. Oh, that's true. They get their Uro back from when they killed my Valki. That's fair. Oh crap! And now they have Field of the Dead. Well, are they just dead anyway? Because I do have a Raging Ravine now, which means I think I need to bolt this, and then I'll have exactly lethal between a Ravine, a Pyromancer, and a Ren and 6. Yep, nice. Alright, well, Uro was really good against Uro. Who knew? Alright, so Ashiok is going to be good versus Uro in field. Spellbomb is going to be great versus Uro. We obviously want the Boils. They are not playing the red version, so maybe Wildfire is good. And then Triumph. I think I like Brutality for taking things like Cryptic Commands. I'm already planning on taking out all the Inquisitions. Already planning on taking out some number of Lightning Bolts. Bolt can finish off Planeswalkers, but that's kind of about it. Yeah, Sir Chips. Jund looked nice there. It only looked nice because we had the Uro, though, right? We have a lot of sideboard cards. Maybe these Cleansing Wildfires are a little extra. I do really like just taking out these Fatal Pushes. It leaves us kind of light to the opponent's Uros. We still have 1 copy of Abrupt Decay, which I think I'm keeping. We still have our copy of Maelstrom Pulse, which I'm keeping. Liliana does it too, so we're not just dead to it, but I'd rather answer it preemptively, like with things like Spellbomb and Ashiok. So I need 3 cuts here. Thoughtseize takes the Cryptics and the like, so I think that's probably better than the rest. I do think I want to be taking out these bolts because they just don't do a lot. They're great at hitting the walkers, which is kind of just Jace. But we've got some burst damage in the form of Blood Raid to deal with that as well. So maybe 1 more cut here. I can see cutting Goyf. Like, the opponent's playing Fatal Push, which is going to be able to kill our stuff pretty easily. But I think it's pretty important to be able to attack the Jaces down. In general, though, Goyf just does really not compete with an Uro. It's kind of close to what I want to be taking out here. I'm not really sure what it should be. I guess I could take out a land. I have so many 4-mana plays that I think the 4th land is going to be really, really important. Yeah, maybe we just take out like 1 Wildfire. Like, this card doesn't seem fantastic. Like, it's going to be good against killing the Field of the Dead, but that doesn't really seem like it's going to come up a lot. And like, by the time I kill it, like, if they've already had the Field of the Dead in play for a while, it's pretty likely to have already done its work. The sand's not excellent, but I don't think I can ship it. I mean, we've got 2 lands, some ways to defeat Uro and a Thoughtseize, and a 2-mana play. Yeah, that sand's acceptable. Not exciting, but acceptable. And it's interesting what I want to do here on turn 1. Like, do I want to get a Spellbomb down, or do I want to just cast the Thoughtseize? The Thoughtseize might be better saved to pair with something powerful down the line. Oh, wow, but the opponent mulliganed to 4. Given that they mulligan so low, I think that incentivizes me to just cast the Thoughtseize now, so I can really keep them off the back foot. Because if I might be able to just jam with the Goyf and the Bloodbraid, and given they're so low on resources, they may not be able to fend off the Onslaught while also doing their thing. So because they mulligan so low, I'm just going to Thoughtseize now. Are they going to Veil it? I guess not. Growth Spiral is just a redraw. I think I'm more inclined to take something that actually does something. And I think I'm going to take the Gust, because that'll enable us to resolve the Tarmogoyf on turn 2. Not bad. Alright, so is it Blood Crypt or is it Stomping Grounds? I guess I've got the other Verdant. Let's make it, I guess, Stomping Ground. I only need double black for... I guess there's also Ashiok now at double black. I think I'll still get Stomping Ground, because if I really want second black untapped next turn, I've got the Verdant now. Ooh, Renin 6 is a good one. We know of Archmage's Charm, so I think I'm going to be attacking first. Although, if I play this Renin 6 and they counter it, that'll be one type bigger for the Tarmogoyf, so it's probably just beneficial to play the Renin 6 first. And then if they counter this, I can then use my last mana on a Spellbomb. Oh, they just let it resolve. Wow. I'm still going to use my last mana on a Spellbomb. Like, they can steal the Spellbomb, but if they try to steal the Spellbomb, we'll just sack it in response. No biggie. I guess their logic is they're so behind on resources, they need this as a divination. Given the presence of black, it's pretty unlikely that they're playing Omnath, so Uro is probably their best catch-up card, and we've got some spell bombs to make sure it's not super effective. Alright, well, I think I'm just going to start Bloodbraiding. I'll activate this first in case I hit another Renin 6 and for whatever reason decide that I want to cast it. And I don't want Forest here because that makes it hard to cast Kroxa. I've got more green. Let's just get a basic, I guess. Double Swamp is awkward, though. It's probably just fine. We saw the opponents playing Field of Ruin, but I don't think they're going to be winning if they're fielding us. Let's just get a basic. I am at 11, which isn't super high. Valki. Oh, we get to do the wombo combo. Sick. I almost cast the front half by accident. This is what it's here for, right? Alright, they countered it. Sure. We did the thing. Alright, so we had a best case Valki matchup, I guess. Like, we took the opponent's Uros and then, like, cascaded into it. Which is as ideal as it gets. I'm gonna have to title this video Living the Valki Dream or something. Because that's kind of what's happening, right? Alright, so Cryptics would be annoying into like potential sweepers, but I really want to close the window here. This is a 4, 5, and an 8. So I guess we could just attack. We're putting them really close to dead. I think this is too tempting to resist. Like they need a lot to be able to climb back from this if I just keep on jamming. Like, again, Cryptic into a sweeper would be annoying, but yeah, we're good. So far, so good. Yeah, I think that was like an ideal Valky situation. Took the Uro. We were even on a mulligan to 5. We beat the Uro deck off of a mulligan to 5 in game 1. Here's Valky again. Alright, I'll mire on 1 to have the option of bolting if it's necessary. I really don't want to have to get basic mountain, but I suppose I will if I'm playing against something like Burn and they have a haste creature. The opponent is mulligan. Oh boy. We're playing against the is this another version of the balance deck? Pretty sure it is. Like they don't have any actual lands in play, so when they destroy all lands, it's kind of one-sided. All right, playing forest here is going to make it harder to escape a Croxa early, but I don't think that's going to come up really. Oh, that's cool. They're playing like a Knight of the White Orchid type deal. Alright, well, I think I'm going to take that because I don't want their Knight to ramp them here. Heliod's annoying. But yeah, I think I want to stay ahead on mana. That could be wrong. And I don't think... I could transform this into a 2/2 first strike. Not super exciting. They just drew another one, sure. Alright, so I just want to bolt this one to get it out of the way. I could attack, and if the opponent blocks, I could then turn mine into a 2/2 Death Touch. I mean, I think I'm going to want to use this bolt on, like, the Heliod Sun Crowns. The issue is, like, if they don't trade with the Knight, it's going to be much harder to kill the Heliod. Pretty close. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm leaving this back. So the question is, like, what land? I guess this is, if I'm leaving it back, this is probably a fine time to get the Ravine in. I guess, like, the argument to playing, like, Swamp here is I could end step, turn this into a 2/2, and be using the Bolt. So maybe it's a mistake to get the tap land down. Especially because this Ravine isn't going to be attacking really anytime soon. Mastery. Pretty interesting pile we got going here. Alright, there is the Daxos. Alright, so I can turn my thing into a 2/2 Death Touch, which a 2/2 First Strike, which I think is what I want to do. Sorry, I keep on meaning to say First Strike. I want to turn their Devotion off for Daxos to be worse, and also for their Heliod to have less of a chance of being a creature. Peatland, not great. Alright, well, I think I'm just going to cast this Bloodbraid here. Hitting removal would obviously be excellent. I think Liliana would probably be best case. Excellent. This Mastery is going to be pretty annoying against the Liliana, making creatures. But, I mean, if they're doing that, they're not continuing to play stuff from their hand. And this gains life when they manifest, right? Whenever permanents turn face up, okay. So they now have 5 mana via Nykthos. Okay. Fatal Push. That's great. So I think I want to plus first, so the opponent discards a card without the information. I mean, I think this Pulse is pretty likely to just go after the Mastery right now. which means I'll pretty readily just discard Mire and kill everything. Discard another Heliod. Alright, so... I mean, this puts me weak to dying to the combo if they've got, like, a Walking Ballista. I mean, I guess I'll have a push or a bolt as a leftover. Alright, so I'll play this. Definitely going to kill the Knight here. I guess Bolt goes to face, so I'm going to more readily want to keep it. The issue is, like, if they play another, like, Daxos, the push kills that more. Given they have so many life gain elements, I think it's unlikely this comes down to a burn race. So I think I'd more readily use the Bolt here, so I have the push for things like more Daxoses. So let's Bolt this. And then I think I do want to do this now. So I can attack with the Bloodbraid. And I do want to kill the Mastery now. Because I don't want them untapping and activating it. And they need... If they find something with double devotion, my Liliana dies. So I think I want to hold it back. I mean, I guess that's not even true because I've got the push. So yeah, I think an attack here is good. And then maybe the Servine can get jiggy with it sometime soon. Sure. So they have access to 4 mana. So they only need 6 to execute combo with Ballista. Because it's 4 to cast it, 2 to give it lifelink, and they need the second counter on it so it doesn't just die immediately. Is this the Ballista? Okay, well we've got a push. Do I want to just do this now? If I do this now, the Liliana's dying, but Liliana's dying anyway. And if I do it now, that means I can attack with the Ravine. So I'm doing this now, I think. I mean, I could untap and just, like, minus the Liliana, but then I lose the Bloodbraid, too. Oh, Kroxa, huh? Kroxa's good. I mean, I can escape that as early as next turn, so I think that's probably the line. I do have red, red, black, black. I could attack with a Ravine here. I mean, it hits for 7, and then for 8. That is next turn. So like maybe I should just attack with the Ravine here because if they draw a land, they die. Right? Because that's going to be 4 plus 3 is 7, and it's 8 next turn. That's 15. I'm going to go for the kill you next turn line. Because if they blink, which is there's a not a low chance of happening, but not an unrealistic chance of happening, they just die. Whereas if I Kroxa here, I don't have him dead the following turn. So we're going to pray for a blank. Obviously, they could just kill me if they find a Ballista. Yeah, I'm dodging one card either way, right, Chaos? So I like that analysis. Like, we're hoping to dodge it. Yeah, and we did it. Sweet. Because, like, if I Kroxa here, I'm committing to Kroxa on the following turn, which is a 3-turn clock as opposed to 2, right? Alright, let's bring in the extra push. How do I like Brutality? It doesn't seem great. You don't like it? Like, it can kill some of the devotion creatures. Like, it can kill Knight of the White Orchid, but that doesn't even seem fantastic. Wildfire can kill Nykthos. I'm not really sure I like Liliana's Triumph. It can help defend versus combo, but it's again our worst removal spell. Yeah. I think the push is a for sure, and I think these 5 are a maybe. I think the spell bombs are probably pretty safe to come out. Now what else can come out here? I mean, honestly, everything else looks pretty serviceable. This could be another fun Valki matchup. So you know, there's that expression, living la vida loca. Is living la Valki loca life too much of a stretch? like as a clickbait title. Living the Valki Loca. It's only a couple letters off. All right, so Triumph. That's 60. You're still leaning towards Valky not being good? Here it seems fine because like it can take a combo piece, right? Like obviously the front side is really fragile to a ballista, but they don't have a lot of removal for it otherwise. Oh, you don't mean for this match? Jund in general? Yeah, I still think in general it's not great. Like there are obviously the spots where it's got its matchups where if you get lucky it's great, and then even then sometimes it's not good enough. But I mean, it definitely is fun when it works. I just don't know how competitive it is. I think my main deck is configured pretty well for this. Yeah, this hand's not exciting. We've got 2-drop and a removal spell and a Pyromancer to clear it up. Yeah, it's interesting for sure. Another land, not great. Ravine time, go. Oh, blue splash. Champion. Alright, we can edict it. That's something that edict does. And I guess I should wait so they go into this turn without information. Like if they put a creature on the stack, I'll respond by edicting. Knowing the opponent has all these Auriok champions potentially in the sideboard is probably another reason to play more Triumphs. Border post. Yeah. Alright, well I guess it really doesn't matter. But I think I should just do this now so that way they don't gain the life and they have to sacrifice the one that could otherwise attack. Oh wow. I mean, if I'm gonna be lucky, I'm gonna be lucky. It's not every day you get faced with double Auriok Champion and then you use 2 black spells to get rid of it. Better lucky than good? I would argue better both, right? Oh gosh. That's a tough. They minused on nothing, I guess? Valky. Let me just verify they minused on nothing. Pretty sure they did. Returns no cards. They just wanted to draw a card. Alright, I guess I should plus so they're discarding without the information. If they discard a creature, then it's going to be awkward if I can't take a creature, but given I've got a Planeswalker in play, I think they're going to have a creature in their hand. Or at least they won't discard a creature. Alright, so each player discards. Let's ditch one of our many lands. Make it a mire. Just the little land that doesn't do anything otherwise. And then I think I'm going to play Valki first, because if I see a creature that costs 2 mana that I want to copy immediately, I'm going to want to have access to my peatland. Oh, they just really didn't have any creatures. Sure. Alright, so now I think I can pretty safely get in my Ravine. Boing. Champion. We have Liliana again. And we drew Bloodbraid. Alright, well, we don't get to Cascade, but we do get to kill the Teferi. So I guess we could also just activate a Raging Ravine and kill the Teferi that way. I kind of like that, because then we actually get to Cascade with the Bloodbraid. And, like, they've got on Thin Ice anyway. Alright, so the Magic Online trick. Tap 1 for mana first, so you don't accidentally activate the one that you want to attack with. Yeah, since we know that the opponent has removal, I'm pretty sure I like just using the Ravine to kill the Teferi here. Or they've got nothing now. This is going really, really well. I could just Valki, but if they had a creature, they'd have played it. So I think I get it getting the pressure on. We just don't hit spot removal. Alright, that's a good one. Alright, so they're keeping an on Thin Ice. Wow, I've been drawing pretty well, and all of our cards have been pretty best case so far. So I mean, pretty great. Yeah, this is an absolute beatdown. I would call it that for sure. Another good one. Let's attack first. And I could just sacrifice this Peatland. And then immediately buy it back. But I've got so much stuff to do that I kind of just like developing my mana more. Especially because I might want to start casting a spell in the same turn I'm activating a Raging Ravine. Yeah, they're just done. Yeah, that was a wild deck. I mean, they pulled off their Knight of the White Orchid combo with their border posts, which was cool. And they expertly drew a Knight of the White Orchid as soon as I Inquisitioned one. But I'm not really in a position to complain at the moment. Wow, we're 3-0-6-0, 50 minutes into the league. Yeah, he was mid-range. He was mid-range control game too. It was weird. But yeah, I think the creature combo, the ballista combo is just like a happy little oops here. You can go you can put it in the deck for basically free. Like it seems like a very fine, just like mono white mid-range white weenie type deck, and then like you just get to put the combo in for kind of free. Amigo Briel. Yeah. Pretty likely to just play this Forgotten Cave as a land. Play. Gonna fake him out. They're gonna think we're playing Dredge. Hey, that's a Valki. I mean, it's probably getting bolted, but I'm gonna play it. Get my other two colors here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So, as far as this Blood Moon is concerned, I've got the decay to respond to it, but I'm going to need to find the source of mana. Like, sooner rather than later. Alright, I bricked. This doesn't cast Abrupt Decay. Alright, we're getting mooned here. I'm probably going to die to it, unfortunately. Like, if I play Valki here, it's getting remanded. So maybe I should just do it, given that I'm not doing anything else. But that puts the shields down. Looks like we're going to take our first loss here to a Blood Moon. And it's sad too, because like, had this been any other land, we would be, well, I guess not Basic Mountain. Had it been any other land, we may have been able to combat this Blood Moon. They're not playing it? They probably just like have to jam it here. Maybe they just want to hold up Remand for whatever reason, but I feel like you got to play the moon here. Yeah, Pyro will be castable. Wow, alright, they're giving us a chance. Land. Not that one. I mean, if they, for whatever reason, decide to not go for it for another turn, then it'll work out. Sanctuary back of bolts, and they opted to put it on top. Alright, now they're mooning. Yeah. Alright, Seasoned Pyromancer, do the thing. We need to find some basics. That's not a basic. Alright, I'm just gonna ditch the double black thing, I think. And then, so, like, my black and my green cards are pretty far off from getting cast. I don't think this Valki is gonna be good ever. I guess, like, there's a world where, like, I cast the backside of it if I can find the swamp. I think I'm so far off from casting either Pulse or Decay that I think I'll just keep the Decay because that's the uncounterable one, so I'll ditch a Pulse. And Basic Forest would be a big find. Not quite. Because, like, Forest is going to enable Bloodbraid. And we know they're drawing a Lightning Bolt and that this is the rest of their hand. So one thing we don't know about. Forest. Not quite. Zap. Take two. And I think I'm playing this land here because end step I can activate the Pyromancer out of the yard. Get some additional sources of pressure. Oh, they played this moon, didn't they? They played the steam vents now. Oh, that's a Jace. I mean, we can attack it down pretty easily. And if they plus it, we have the lightning bolt. They don't have access to blue mana either, so I think I'm gonna let them brainstorm, and then I'll activate the Pyromancer. Don't think we're out of it quite yet. It's gonna be difficult. Alright, well, if I bolt now, the opponent could have like a Force of Negation or something. But they could have that on their turn as well, because they've got double blue. Alright, so let's bolt this, see if it resolves. Alright, they got the Force. Alright, so I'm going to send everybody at the Jace. So that way if they like plus it again and can bolt an elemental, I can still have 3 to attack it. And they pitched a Force, so they've got a Remand, maybe. It could be the top of their library. I mean, Forest is a good draw. Other Seasoned Pyromancer is a good draw. That's really it, though. I mean, I guess Basic Swamp allows us to get somewhere. So, I mean, we've got 4 decent draws, but the rest is not looking great. So what we don't want to see here is something like a Snapcaster, because then they get to keep their Jace alive. I guess not even, because their Jace is still only at 1. I guess I could send 1 elemental at the opponent, and then the rest at the Jace, in case they have like Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt, we still get to kill Jace. Then we just send 1 at them for kind of free. And then I do think I'm playing these lands. If I draw the other Seasoned Pyromancer, I'm happy to discard spells to get more elementals. And plus, if I find a swamp now, I get to cast the back half of Valki. Alright, so we played around the Snapcaster pretty okay. We still know of a Remand, though. The opponent hasn't been able to shuffle it away. Pyromancer, please. Or a swamp or a forest. Holy crap, we drew the forest. What we get? Inquisition? Sure. Well, I can eat the Remand at a minimum. Like, if they just remand it. Like, they could very easily just remand it. Okay, or force it. Sure. Right, so they still have remand. I mean, I guess I'm still attacking all, though. They're gonna very likely just trade. Trade for the Bloodbraid. But, I mean, it's not really doing much sitting back. I mean, I really doubt these elementals are going to be enough to get there, but so far so good. They're not doing anything, huh? Croxa, not exactly. Alright, jam again. Hit you again. We've got red and green only. Can't cast anything. And we still know of this Remand. We've also got Lightning Bolts as live draws. The opponent is pretty low. What is this? Shark Typhoon, jeez. Thoughtseize, that doesn't do anything. Right, you're at 5. I mean, if two elementals get through, a bolt is then lethal. So I think I'm definitely going to be, if I choose to attack, attacking before casting spells. Glyph is castable. Yeah, I definitely don't want them, like, remanding something and creating a shark before I'm able to attack. Wow, they're not... I think I'm just passing. I don't want to give him a shark for free. Yeah, I still don't think we're getting there, but it's a non-zero chance. Like, now bolts are just lethal. I mean, nothing has changed. I guess now they have access to Cryptics and Archmage's Charms, so that could be even more dangerous. Like, if they have Cryptic here to tap our team and make a 4/4, that could put us in trouble. But bolts get us there. Here comes the Cryptic. That island. Oh, they're taking this. I mean, that kind of does it too, right? Now we no longer have an attack. Oh, I should have played Goyf. I was like, oh, they'll just remand it, but they used all of their blue, so that was a mistake. I should have played the Goyf. Yep, I just forgot to. Pretty unfortunate. I mean, we still need to find Bolt. I don't think they could remand it any number of times to be able to counter it, which is kind of funny. Just gonna have to find Bolt. There are 4 of them still, right? Bolt. There are 4, right? Oh no, we used 1. All right, so there are 3. We're drawing live to 3 bolts. And now I just can't really cast the Goyf because we still know about the remand. I don't want to give him anything to attack with. We were so close to having it be good enough. I think that island is what did it, funny enough. I mean, we still have like what 2 turn window to draw it, unless they like end step making another shark. Come on, bolt. Come on, bolt. 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 There's 3 of you. That's so close. I don't think I can cast that either. We're not quite dead unless the opponent decides to do something end step, or they have a bolt of their own, in which case it doesn't matter. Yeah, swamp would be good too. They're like, swamp means we can cast the decay on the moon and then we can open up everything else. Come on, bolt. Come on, bolt. Damn. That was close though. That I can see. Alright, there we go. That was really, really close. Alright, so they're a Snapcaster deck. I think I like the Spell Bombs. They're probably a Mystic Sanctuary deck. We're definitely going to want to boil them. That's for certain. Like, they play a lot of non-island blue sources, but if they've got, like, Blood Moon out, then we can just take them off of all their blue. I like the Brutalities. The pushes don't seem great. I like the bolts more. I don't think I want to Ashiok. These Valkies seem like they're not going to be good here. There's just not a lot of creatures that they hit. Like, it's just Snapcaster pretty much. And they just kill it with literally everything. I think I like trimming... What do I like trimming here? Definitely not Goyf. Goyf is like the hardest thing to deal with for them. Maybe it's Liliana. Like, Liliana isn't great versus all of their multi-for-1 blue spells. It's great on the play if I can stick it. But it's going to be one of the harder things to cast if the opponent has a Blood Moon. It's wild. But I think I'm cutting the Liliana. Like, there just isn't a creature that it's good against. Oh, you like Wildfire for myself? That's interesting. This hand is not interesting. I don't know about this. I think I gotta keep it. We've got the fight for the Blood Moon. And Goyf is really hard to kill. I think I'm bottoming Croxa here. Yeah, I in hindsight definitely like the definitely like playing the whatchamacallits, the Wildfires. Alright, Relic is going to deal with Goyf really, really easily. Kind of think I just have to take that. Like, they have Gust to do it as well, but I can Cryptic. I can Brutality that away. Brutality is probably going to end up needing to take this Cryptic, though. Doesn't feel great, but I'm kind of edging towards the Relic here. It's going to be really effective against us long run. Brutal. Alright, there's a Sanctuary. Green source? Not quite. Cryptic. See, they're going to have Remand available now, but I don't think I'm beating this Cryptic. Yikes. Could maybe take a Remand now. If they Remand this, I'll just recast it. that one. The issue is they're now accumulating the mana advantage, and they've also got some cards that I can't beat, like Blood Moon, so I think it's going to be a race to a green source here. I need to get that basic green really quickly. Not quite. And I think I'm just going to pop it now so I have another look at it. Not the basic I'm looking for. Alright, now we're in Cryptic Command range, Archmage's Charm range as well. We know of the Gust. Alright, well, we drew that at least. Doubt they're playing, like, Mana Leak or something, which would be a reason to wait. Yeah, this is crazy, I would agree. They didn't Gust it? I guess they can Gust it off the battlefield, too. I mean, if they Gust it, I'll put it on top. This is one of the harder things they have to deal with. They need, like, double Bolt or a Gust to do it. They're just going to start 2 for 1-ing every chance they get. You know what we need? Boil. Boil would be great. Alright, they got Archmage's Charm on top again, though. Alright, so their hand is these 2, Charm, and 4 others. Can we draw Boil here, please? Boil would be the nuts. Not quite. I mean, that gets a black source. And I think I'm gonna play this first because if they Gust the Tarmogoyf, I'm gonna want to get a Swamp in response. I'm just not gonna fetch in case they try to Aether Gust in response to a fetch. Because I do think I'm topping this. These 3 Archmage's Charms has put them up 3 cards, though. It's going to be kind of hard to come back from, regardless of what I could do. Another one, yeah. Goyf. I mean, it's hard to not play it. Can't imagine it sticks, though. Snare. Yeah, it's brutal. Alright, I'm done here. there's just not a chance. Alright, so we lost our undefeated run. I do think Chad is right. We definitely, well, I should have definitely boarded in the Wildfires just as a hedge versus the Blood Moon. Luckily, it didn't come up. But not having our color to play Tarmogoyf a turn earlier was unfortunate. I just don't think I can mulligan to 5 versus the control deck. It just puts me so far behind from the get-go that I almost like just keeping the risky 6 with 2 lands. Laughing Rock. We're gonna probably run back a similar hand. Yeah, let's keep it. We've got turn 1 Inquisition and a good 2 and 3 mana play. We need the green source to unlock our turn 2 play, which is going to be pretty big. But I mean, being on the play with an Inquisition and additional things to play makes it really hard to mulligan. Oh wow, fairies, Fallen Shinobi. All right, well this is taking Bitter Blossom is one of the ways Goyf ends up being a 7/8, or sorry 8/9. Green source. That's fine too. And I am gonna shock Pretty sure I want to pop this end step. Just continue trying to find additional sources of mana. Unfortunately, gonna empty a Bitter Blossom to make the glyphs a little smaller. I could always target myself, but I think that's probably a little too extra. Like, I'm gonna want to feed Crocuses at some point. Yeah, I mean, I've got a decay for this one, so let's just really try to find this green. Green? Perfect. So now I can decay this other Bitter Blossom. And have up a Lightning Bolt even. So it's Stomping Ground or Overgrown Tomb. I think given my hand, it's more likely I want red. Like lots of red mana. Like I don't need a lot of black. I have no black spells other than this decay that's getting cast now. So let's get Stomping Ground. Say yes. Get this thing out of here. Disable their Fallen Shinobi. And this Bolt is going to be good for preventing future Shinobi shenanigans. So their hand is Shinobi +3. Thoughtseize is good because it was unclear whether or not our Tarmogoyf was going to resolve, but hopefully this can clear the path. And at worst, it's taking a powerful 5-mana creature. Oh wow, they just have all of the removal. Alright, well... They can just cast their Brazen Borrower as a 3/1 and then I can bolt it. I kind of want to just take a Remand, although it's something that's not really punching a hole in their hand. I kind of feel like I have to take one of their creatures, because like the creatures are how they win the game. So it's like either Borrower or Shinobi. Shinobi, I guess, is more stranded, so it makes me want to take the Borrower. And then I guess I'll just cast the Tarmogoyf as a way of fleshing out their first copy of Remand. Like I can't Tarmogoyf here as a follow-up if I take the Fallen Shinobi, because then they can just Brazen Borrower and I'm weak to it for a turn. So I think casting Tarmogoyf is right, assuming I'm taking the Borrower, which I did. Alright, so their hand is Shinobi Remand. Alright, well casting this tracker is almost definitely getting remanded. But if it doesn't, I'm going to be able to play Blackleaf Cliffs. Alright, and then the question is now, do I want to play the Blackleaf Cliffs? I think the answer is still yes. Reason being is I'm going to want to be able to have a 3-mana play and have a guaranteed source of untapped mana for the Bolt. Like, best case here is probably just like a fetch land, funny enough. There it is. So now we don't know that this is going to resolve, but we're really hoping it does. Bummer. Is this a cryptic? Jeez, counter draw. Brutal. Alright, I'm going to play my land here. I want to empty the hand to make the Pyromancer a draw 2. So I might just bolt him on end step. If they play Fallen Shinobi here, I might just want to keep the Bolt in my hand so I have an additional blocker for the Shinobi. Thoughtseize. Yeah, that'll resolve. They'll take the Pyromancer. And I only have one tracker in the deck and no Kolaghan's Command, so fetching here is free. Need like a Bloodblade or something. Can cycle it. Renin 6. Liliana. Liliana is fine too. The issue is that the opponent has a creeping tar pit. So I mean, I guess I can Liliana and just not plus. It's like, I mean, I can plus and discard my Bolt, but then Liliana is weak to the Tar Pit, so I think I'm going to play it while Counter Magic is relatively down, and then just not activate it. Because if they go to attack it with Tar Pit, I definitely want to Bolt it. The secret 4th mode on Liliana is not using it at all. Alright, so if they've got like Remand or something... So if they have like Remand or something, they could still get me with their being able to kill the Liliana. And we know they've got a Shinobi, so that doesn't do anything. We're gonna be able to activate the Seasoned Pyromancer here at the end step. I wonder if they've got Mystic Sanctuaries. Shinobi, yep. So we can combination the Lightning Bolts and an Elemental to kill the Shinobi, which is probably what's going to have to happen, assuming we don't find a way to kill it otherwise. That's the way to kill it otherwise. And I'll hold the Inquisition to maybe pair with something later. Please no Sanctuary. Thank God. They do have the requisite islands for it, so maybe they're just not playing them. And the small error, which could end up coming up, pretty sure I should have left open double red in case they attack with Tar Pit and like Remand my Bolt. I'm taking 3 damage I would not have had to. So I think that's a mistake. Wow, that's a Valki. I almost wonder if I should save it for when I have 2 more mana, because like it as a 2/1 really isn't going to be doing much. So I think I'm just going to attack and then see where that takes me. If they activate the Tar Pit in an attempt to block, I'll try to Bolt it. They know we've got the Bolt from way back when. So do I want to play this as a 2/1 or do I want to save it to potentially win the game on 7 mana? I really don't think this game is going to come down to having an additional 2 power. I think I'm just going to pass and open up the potential for it being great later. Alright, Dark Slick Shores is probably the best thing the opponent can draw for us. Do we know the card in hand? We do not. It is a mystery. We have clues as to what it could be. Like, it's obviously not counter magic. Or not obviously. There's a chance it could be. Like, the only thing they would have countered or had the ability, the chance to counter would have been that Lightning Bolt. But that's not super high impact. I guess in the off chance it's a counter or like a Fatal Push or something, I can Inquisition now to ensure that the Tarmogoyf gets to stick around. Yeah, Goyf is an 8/9. And there was removal, so the read was good. Alright, we've got the 8/9 Goyf. This has really been a special league, huh? We got to live the Valki dream a few times, then we have an 8/9 Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I think the Inquisition was worth using there, just to make sure that the Goyf gets to live. Sick. Wow, this is going to be a really quick league. This league has been going on for about 1 hour and 20 minutes, and we're up a game in match 5. Alright, so... honestly, there's not a whole lot. I mean, I guess Boil is going to be fine. Triumph is probably going to be good if the only thing they have going is the Shinobi. But they've got Bitter Blossom, which this looks really silly against. Push doesn't kill Shinobi, so I don't think I'm going to bring in another one. We didn't see Mystic Sanctuary, but it's not impossible they have it. That and Snapcaster, so maybe there's some merit to Spellbomb. Brutality can take most of the counters. But it doesn't take things like Bitter Blossom or the Shinobi. Wildfire takes care of their own creeping tar pits, but there aren't many of those. So, I mean, I'm considering these 5, I guess considering these 7. Is there anything I would want to take out in favor of them? Valki seems okay here. Like, there's not very much that it would take that would be insane. Let's take out one of those, probably. The hand disruption seems fine versus all their counters and kill spells. Bolts are probably weak-ish. I mean, the rest of this seems like just fine, you know? I guess Liliana can be kind of laughable. Just because, again, they're playing things like Bitter Blossom, which Liliana seems to be really poor against. And this is 60. So, I mean, I guess maybe we just don't need these. We've got a lot of ways to deal with creatures. I don't think we need Triumph as another one. The issue is a lot of our ways to deal with creatures like Bolt and Push, those don't touch Shinobi, whereas the Triumph can. You like this, Chaos? Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to submit this. I could see bringing in the Triumph just as another way to deal with Shinobi. We got kind of lucky last game and we drew the Maelstrom Pulse. Like, we needed Pulse or Liliana, and we took the Lilianas out. What's up, Jackson? Valki has been okay. This is my second league with it, and in the first league it did not look impressive at all. And this league it has looked pretty okay. We had an ideal match where we Valkied on 2 and took an Uro, and then on turn 4 after hitting we mulliganed to 5, so we hit our third land on turn 4 and we started attacking with an Uro, which was pretty funny. And then in that same game later on, we cascaded into it. So, I mean, that game, it was insane. But, I mean, every other time it's looked, like, pretty mediocre to not great. I don't think it's a very competitive card, but I think it's something that is definitely a lot of fun. Alright, Blood Crypt's not great. I'm not going to get this Swamp down, because I want to be able to use this run in 6 sooner rather than later. I don't think I'm fetching basics if I can avoid it. I guess let's just play a Mire. And then this can get, like, Stomping Ground, and then between Stomping Ground, Blood Crypt, Swamp, or Mana is perfect. And then I'll Blood Crypt next turn, so I can run in 6, get that going. Yeah, it's definitely cool with Witch's Cottage. Like, to help guarantee that you can cascade into it. It's definitely a powerful interaction. Alright, so Stomping Ground if this doesn't get countered. Alright, Stomping Ground. There. No, and then not playing Swamp here because it doesn't cast a run in 6. More land's not great. There are a number of things that can counter the run in 6 here. But I think I want to start just jamming things because I maybe want to flesh out all their counters for the Boil to be improved. Yeah, I've attempted Witch's Cottage in the past before Valki was a card that existed, but I have not tried them at the same time. I've heard people have had good experiences though. It's something that I can try out. All right, well the jig is up. They know about Boil. You took Goyf though. Interesting. There's a Bitter Blossom. Interesting. There's a Bolt. Alright, well, Bolt can take care of the Mutavault. I think I'm going to just go red and 6, buy back Mire, play the Mire. And then, like, if they try to attack it with the Mutavault, I can then use the one card they don't know about, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm waiting for Jund's Triome. That'd be so good. Oh, they have more Mutavaults. Brutal. They only have 1 blue mana, so I mean, I'm not super afraid of counters. I guess Remand is still something that's realistically in the opponent's hand. I'll get, I guess, Overgrown Tomb. Might even be Blood Crypt here. I think Blood Crypt might even be better. We don't need a lot of green for many reasons. Oh, that's going to take... yeah, I mean, not much I can do about that. I mean, it kind of only kills one land right now. They might just take the Bolt, because like that makes it awkward for their Mutavaults. Yeah, sure. I mean, this Kroxa is going to be beefy at some point if they can't kill it. And like I mentioned, I almost want to get the Blood Crypt here. I think I just will. Moorland's not good. Let's get this Kroxa in the yard. Spell Stutter. Sure. I can use the Ren and 6 to kill a fairy, which is almost what I have to do. Does it matter which one? It might be better just to kill the rogue. You know what? It's better to kill this, right? Because if they ninjutsu it, I don't want them to have another copy of it. Yeah, I gotta kill Spell Stutter. Oh, they went to combat way too quickly. I'm scared. And they're going at me? Oh, crap. They've got it. Here it comes. Vomit. It's okay. I got 2 lands on top. This is the one that hit like Tarmogoyf, and I feel sad. Bloodbraid Boil? Jeez. Alright, well, they're not boiling. Another Bitter Blossom, yeah. Well, this got less interesting. Spell Bomb. Interestingly enough, if I Spell Bomb and don't pay the mana, I can get Kroxin to play this turn, which I think is what has to happen. And I guess I'll kill the fairy. Oh, I just blundered. I needed to have the fetch to do it. That sucks. Yeah, I outthought myself. I was like, oh, okay, I just need to get the spell bomb down, and I just like forgot that I needed the fetch to do it. Unfortunate. Alright, well, I'm gonna keep on fighting the good fight then. I could find like a pulsar or something. Let's say yes. Not quite. Alright, well now Pulse isn't an out. Goaif. No, we're dead. Alright, so that was a mini mistake. No guarantee it would have been good, but it would have definitely given us a fighting chance, and the way I did it did not. On the play, does Liliana get better? It does. They've got Mutavault too. Maybe Cleansing Wildfire is good. It looked better than Boil, to be honest. Now that they know about Boil, they're more likely to play around it. I think I like cutting a Boil for at least a Wildfire. Maybe even playing the second one for the other copy. Yeah, they don't play a lot of basics. Things I think they're primarily a black deck as opposed to a blue deck. Like, they play Remands. Yeah, let's just play one Boil. I don't think Boil's going to be that fantastic, but it does seem like it'll be good in a couple spots. Do I want to play Liliana? Like I did mention before, it does get a lot weaker in the face of Bitter Blossom. But we don't have a whole lot of answers to the Fallen Shinobi. Yeah, I think I'm just going to resubmit this. Let's go first. Yeah, we've got a keeper. Sounds good. No fetch to combine with the Wrenn and 6. We've got a lot of stuff to do otherwise. So, Brutality is a way to kill the Valki. Wrenn and 6 is going to get to deal with their creatures pretty easily. It might just be Remand here. No, you know what? Inquisition is going to be too annoying. Let's just take that. I don't want them to know what's up here. Alright, that's a good draw. We just don't have anything to pair it with. Here, I guess Petty Theft isn't a card, right? Brazen Bar is Petty Theft. Alright, let's get rid of that. So it's like, what do I want to get in under Remand? I mean, the Brutality is going to kill most things. Let's, despite not having a fetch, just get this Wrenn and 6 down. Yeah, they don't have black mana, but I think it's such a tempo loss if they find it, because they have two looks at it. And like, getting the Planeswalker down is probably fine anyway. Alright, can we draw fetch, please? Fetch would be the nuts. Fetch, fetch, fetch. There's like 9 of them. Damn it. You know, I could Cleansing Wildfire myself and then just buy back the land that I wildfired. Is that insane? Because, like, if I wildfire their Dark Slick Shores, like, that doesn't actually achieve anything. Like, they could remand it, but I think this is, like, inconspicuous enough where they don't remand it. And, like, I can wildfire the Blackleaf Cliffs, so that way when I buy it back, I can cast Inquisition. It's kind of crazy, but I would love to hit my mana. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, if they Brazen Bower my Wrenn and 6 in response, I'll be sad, but I don't think they make that play. And I don't think they're remanding this. Like, the remands get significantly better if I can't find my lands. Oh, they are doing this. Okay. Yes, I'll use the ability. So if I don't get a Mountain here, I can't guaranteed cast the Wrenn and 6 again, so I think I have to get Mountain. What else to just draw something? There we go, perfect. Alright, so definitely black and I guess red as well. We don't need a lot of green for any reason, so Blood Crypt. Say yes. Inquisition, target you. Force of Despair. I don't care about that. Don't really care about Brutality. So I guess it's between Click and Remand. And I think I want to get this Wrenn and 6 to resolve. So I think I'm just taking Remand. Alright, that went well. They still have this over here in Adventure that we'll have to remember. Mutavault. Oh, that's brutal. Because like now if I play Wrenn and 6 and buy back the land, they can just flash this in and then attack down the Wrenn and 6. They want to click us now? I don't like this play from the opponent. I think this play is bad. Sure. Because like now we get to Wrenn and 6 and get some guaranteed value. We get to kill their thing. Yeah, this seems so much better for me. Draw Blood Braids. I almost want to just do that. Yeah, I think I'm just doing that. It'll be awkward if I hit something like Fatal Push and I don't have Revolt. I mean, I could just bolt the click now in order to conserve my life. The issue is we don't think this Valki doesn't guarantee actually take anything. I think I'm slamming Bloodbraid. This has the highest potential to pull ahead, whereas everything else I think is just treading water. Goyf. Goyf is big. Big creature. Alright, and Goyf is a 3/4 currently, so it does block a Mutavault, but it doesn't block a Mutavault. They can just force here. That's fine. We've just eaten 2 cards. Oh, and their click entered this turn too. That's hilarious. That's really good for me. We just 3-for-2'd them. Alright, and they pitched Brutality, right? Wow, that went a lot better than I could have hoped. Alright, so now they have Mutavault, but they can't activate it if they want to flash in a Brazen Borrower. But I didn't even remember that their click would be dying as well, but that worked out beautifully for me. Wow, we drew our N6 again. I mean, I don't think I want to play the Ren and 6 now, because if they flash in the 3/1, I'm going to want to play this after the fact, I think. So I think I'm just jamming Bloodbraid again. It'll be unfortunate if I hit, like, a Bolt or a Fatal Push. So, like, maybe I should just Valki, because, like, Valki can at least guarantee kill a Mutavault, and then I can still hold up Bolt. I almost like just casting Valki here. Like, we know the opponent is playing Inquisition and stuff, but we haven't seen a reason for them to play... We haven't seen any Thoughtseizes. Obviously, there's a reason to play Thoughtseize. Like, it's worse against future Vendilion clicks to not play this now. But they could also have something stupid like a Fallen Shinobi just stuck in their hand. And I want to conserve my life because I feel like I can win a long game given my hand. So let's cast... I think I've talked myself into casting Valki. And I'll leave open... I think I'm going to leave open my red in case they decide to remand my both. And I don't think I'm casting red and 6 here regardless. Because like I said, I don't want them like flashing it in and killing it. Because if they play the 3/1, I'm just going to play the red and 6 after the fact. And then kill it. Just play a 3/1. Oh, they've got Spell Stutter. Well, if they Spell Stutter, I can bolt the Mutavault in response, and my thing will still resolve. And I want to kill this. Yeah, this went so well for me. Oh, I should have tapped the mountain, but it'd be like that. Yeah, now we're very ahead. And I definitely think I should have killed the Mutavault there. Because, like, Ren and 6 can kill the Spell Stutter sprite pretty easily. And, like... No, I guess not anymore. They can't even Brazen Borrower now. I'll say it can kill the Spell Stutter pretty easily. And, like, Mutavault can't really get touched by my Sorcery Speed interaction. Wow, that was good. Alright, well, let's just jam Bloodbraid. They even have a creature in play now, so removal spells are live. That's probably the worst thing I could have hit. Jam. If you want to trade, I'm happy. In fact, I prefer they trade, because Fallen Shinobi gets much worse when they don't have a creature in play. Dark Sixers. Alright, so they have the Brazen Borrower now. Alright, well, that represents an elemental. Wow, not great. Attack. They can't block because this only blocks flyers. And, like, you can kind of see why I like taking out the Inquisitions and Thoughtseizes in, like, mid-range matchups. I'm going to keep the land now in my hand in case I find the Tireless Tracker. Like, this doesn't necessarily signal that I don't have a Fatal Push, because, like, they don't know I would have access to Revolt otherwise. So I think not playing it is fine. I mean, we're winning the race by the skin in our teeth. We need them to not draw something insane. Right, that's not insane. It's good. It's not insane. Alright, this race is being lost currently, but it's close. We need something good. Not good. It's going to be a close one. Who can get luckier now? We need the opponent to just draw like lands here. They've got a lot of draws that are going to be pretty impactful. Even Bitter Blossom at this stage wouldn't be terrible. Valki? I mean, one more land and we're casting the backside of that. I mean, if I cast the backside, that means that I will have cracked this fetch land and I'm going to have to use the minus to get rid of the creature. Which means if I'm casting it next turn, I don't have time to cast the Inquisition next turn, so I guess that means the only time I have is now. Alright, it's a land. Expected. So, I mean, even an untapped land next turn represents removal. But I'm definitely not cracking this fetch land because unless I hit it, because that shaves the turn off of the clock for the opponent. It's gonna be close. Alright, we knew about that one. The scary thing now is that the opponent, if the opponent has like a remand or something, we do just lose on the spot. Oh, and another interesting thing is that if I don't fetch now, my forest and my mountain are out of the deck already. Which means that I can't fetch shock to play the Valki, but that also takes a turn off the clock. I think I can't fetch here. Spellbomb is a redraw. I guess I'd rather have red available, so I'll pay green. Sacrifice targeting you. And then I guess I'll pay with the Blood Crypt. Say yes. Glyph. Okay. It's gonna be really, really close. I mean, like, clicks and more Brazen Borrowers have us losing this race here. Literally any flash creature has us dead. Alright, they didn't have the flash creature. And of note, I could have played this Valki a few turns ago, and that would have maybe, if it attacked twice, been good enough. Oh gosh. So they can't attack us. Oh, they can't block though. So now a push has us dead. But I mean, if they had a push, maybe they'd have used it by now. So definitely glad I haven't fetched. What is this? Oh, they're clicking? I'm a little confused. Oh, they didn't have... Sweet. Cool. So we got the 4-1. Alright, so for the purposes of this very quick recording, let's go ahead and do a deck tech / wrap up. So this was the second run through with Valki in the main deck, both times with 3 copies. And we're at a combined 7 and 3 now, so it's not fantastic, but it's respectable. I still don't think Valki is really what I want to be doing as a Jund pilot. It doesn't seem powerful enough a significant amount of the time. Like, obviously, in our second match, when we played against the Uro player, we had an unfortunate mulligan to 5, but we took an Uro with the Valki, and the opponent was not able to kill it. And we ended up attacking with the Uro 4 times, and it pulled us enough ahead where we actually ended up taking game 1. But I just don't think it's going to be powerful majority enough of the time, because a lot of the time, even if you get lucky and cascade into it with your Bloodbraid as early as turn 4, a lot of the time the opponent can just kill you on their turn anyway, because you've tapped out for effectively nothing. That's obviously not always true, because sometimes you could be playing against like a mid-range deck that doesn't have that if you tap out I kill you power. But even if you do hit the nuts, it's not always going to be good. I mean, obviously if you play against only Uro decks and like Jund mirrors, then it's probably something worth playing, but that's not really how Modern is shaped up right now. But I mean, it was obviously really, really fun because we got to attack with Kroxa and Uro at the same time, which I've never done before. But it was fun. I still am not convinced about its level of competitiveness. But I can, like I mentioned in the beginning of the league, I'm definitely going to give it another league or two to really get a better feel for it. Because 10 matches isn't a huge sample size, and even 20 isn't. But I'm just going to keep playing it for a little bit and get a better grasp of what it can really do. But the rest of the deck felt real solid. I gotta say, I haven't really missed Scavenging Ooze. Again, the two Nile Spellbombs kind of fulfill that role. And, I mean, Ooze can take over a game by itself, but the odds that what's the word? The amount of times that happens is not really that high, and the Spellbomb does it all pretty well on its own. And also, Spellbomb empties the yard much more quickly in matchups where it matters. Like if you're playing against Dredge, for example, and you really need to get rid of all of the opponent's graveyard at the same time, you don't always have time to use multiple green to pick out the specific pieces from the yard. So Spellbomb catching all at once is definitely pretty nice. Yeah, the best case for Valki is to play against Uro. Yeah, I think that would be the best case for Valki. But yeah, the rest of the deck felt absolutely fine. Like I mentioned, I didn't really miss the Scavenging Ooze. The Lilianas, it's a little weird to me that I'm only playing two. There were a few spots in this league where I got lucky to draw one when I really wanted to, or even cascade into one when I really wanted to. So I think maybe Liliana should be at least a 3 of, if not a 4 of. But playing 3 Valki, I really had to find room somewhere. I'm even only playing 3 Tarmogoyfs as opposed to 4. And against all the Uro piles, I still think Tarmogoyf is not really where I want to be. But Tarmogoyf is just the best generic beater versus a lot of stuff. Like versus the combo decks where you really need to apply maximum pressure at maximum mana efficiency. So in that aspect, in that light, I like Tarmogoyf. But versus a lot of the Uro decks that are existing right now, a big generic beater doesn't really want where you want to be. You usually want your beaters to have some other purpose, kind of like Kroxa, where it has some card advantage aspect to it, like Seasoned Pyromancer, like Tireless Tracker, even Valki. They all do something in addition to being a beater. Whereas Tarmogoyf's sole purpose is being a beater. And then the sideboard was kind of fine. We never brought in the Liliana's Triumphs, but those are mainly for just being additional sources of removal and a way to combat the Tybalt's Trickery combo that casts Emrakul on turn 3, because you can Edict the Emrakul. But I mean, the rest of the sideboard all came in at some point, with the exception of Ashiok. Actually, not true. We brought in Ashiok versus Uro. We just never got the chance to play it. But I mean, all in all, I think it all felt pretty smooth. I think I'm going to continue to play Spellbombs over Oozes. I think I'm probably going to try to fit another Liliana in, and then see how all of that competes alongside Valki. So that's going to be it for this recording. Thanks all for tuning in. And if you're not already following here on Twitch, you definitely should. I post stuff like this and stream stuff like this all the time. And if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for tuning in. I definitely appreciate your patronage. You should hit that subscribe button for more awesome content like this. So until next time, John them out and have a good one.